What's up? What's up, man? What's going on? Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me. This video, I'm going to bring my thoughts on this game. Just my thoughts. This is the first game of the season, man. And between these two teams, they didn't look like they brought in anybody new outside of their draft picks. So what I like to do with this game, I like to, not try to be too cute, and I'll walk into this with the little things that I know from last year. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I'll approach this game. What we do know is that Tampa Bay, they had a pretty nice defense, especially their front. Their secondary can be touched. All right. On the Dallas side of things, their defense was trash. The shit was horrible last year. And the first 4 games that, Dak played, he played 5, but that 5th one he got hurt. He was putting up astronomical passing yards. And if that Dallas offensive line can protect him, then we definitely can see some fireworks here. All right, I think both of these teams. Well, excuse me. God damn. I'll get to that when I touch on the books. What I was getting ready to say, so I'll X that off. Before I get into some individual players, I want to let you know that all these starters, each and every one of these starters, Tom Brady, Ezekiel Elliott, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Mari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, all these guys are viable. Ain't nothing sneaky about none of these guys. None of the starters. Ain't nothing sneaky about these guys, period, all right? Anybody can get it. Now, like and subscribe if you like the video. I would love for you to hit the notifications so you can be notified every time I upload. Tomorrow I'll do a video probably bringing you guys my prize picks for whatever reason. If you can't play on the if you can't bet on the sports books and you can play fantasy, then chances are you can bet on prize picks, and they do player props and whatever the case may be, straight up, and fantasy player props. That's a good site. I'll touch on that tomorrow. They help sponsor this channel. They you'll get using my link to sign up. You'll get a deposit match up to $100 using my promo code, and tomorrow I'll bring that along with some of my bets and same game parlays. But right now I want to talk about these guys. I want to talk about a few things on the books, but most importantly, I want to talk about these players and walking in from last season into this season. Starting off with Tom Brady, we know what Tom Brady does. He has spread the ball around. There's been rumblings that some of the defensive players have been talking shit about him on Dallas. So you don't want to piss this motherfucking guy off. He will spread the ball out. He can get anywhere from 2 to 5 to 6 touchdowns. You just never know. I'd be lying if I told you what I knew was what the fuck was going to happen in this game, okay? He's self-explanatory. It is what it is, okay? Shucks. I'll just stick with the Tampa Bay side of things. Mike Evans, here's a guy. He's injury prone, but it's week 1. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's ready to go. He had 15 touchdowns last year. The targets, let me give you guys a quick overview of some targets so you guys can get an understanding of how targets have been, how these receivers and things are being targeted, okay? Hey, 4 targets, 10 targets, 4 targets, 8 targets, 9 targets, 2, 2, 7, 6, 11, 9, 9, 5. The list, it just goes on and on. The way Brady distributes the ball, you know what I'm saying? But this is one of his favorite red zone targets right here, Mike Evans. Chris Godwin, the slot god, big boy in the slot. he had 8 touchdowns last year. Okay, he was hurt a few games here and there. All right, so he could have had a better season than he had. And the targets for him is there as well. You know what I'm saying? The games that he did play, you've seen the 7, a 6, a 7, a 9, a 6, 6, 10, 9. You know what I'm saying? A 9, 7, 12, 9, 7. So, you know what I'm saying? I can't stress enough the way, you know, the weapons that Brady has at his disposal and how anybody can be accessible to catching a touchdown. All right. Same thing with Antonio Brown. They have some monster receivers over here, okay? I can make the case for Antonio Brown being the best wide receiver over here. It's a matter of time. I mean, you know, he could start off the fucking season hot as hell, okay? You know, so he's you know, man, Antonio Brown in his prime was like the mecca of the wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? He could do it all. You know, short, long, whatever the case may be. So he's somebody who's always been in shape. You know what I'm saying? He has some bad behavior, but hey, he had 6 touchdowns last year. He missed a nice, you know what I'm saying, a portion of the season last year, okay? He could have easily had double-digit touchdowns, all right? He's firmly in play on the books and everywhere for touchdowns. Now, the tight end position, all right? I mean, the running back situation. They have Ronald Jones, they have Leonard Fournette, and they have the newly acquired Giovanni Bernard. This gives Tampa Bay ultra flexibility throughout the season as far as injuries or whatever the case may be. If any one of these running backs can get injured and they still will have the same substance, okay? Especially by having Leonard Fournette, which they tried to have him be that third down back last year, targeting him in the pass game, which he didn't do. I mean, he was okay, but, you know, he dropped a lot of passes and shit like that, and Brady didn't like that. You know, when he goes into the flats, he's used to a guy like James White, or whatever the case may be, and that's what Giovanni Bernard gives this team, that flexibility. So in the preseason, Giovanni Bernard, he took all the third down reps for this team, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? That's that pass down. That's that passing down. And, you know what I'm saying? You can look for Giovanni Bernard to play that James White role that he's used to. And, you know, you might not see this right off the bat. You know, it might not be, and it might be effective right off the bat. So, you know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that you can really, one of those sleeper guys, you know. So, tight end position here. You got Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Brady, somebody who I'm not on, but O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard only played 4 games last year, so he, you know, he could be one of these guys that you can get that's going to preserve a guy like Rob Gronkowski. Even though when it comes down to the red zone, Rob Gronkowski can be super valuable. You know what I'm saying? You need guys to get in there and score. But it's remaining to be seen how they're going to try to use O.J. Howard this year. You know what I'm saying? You know, back in the days, you know, when they had Jameis Winston, you know, we seen O.J. Howard flourish. And, you know what I'm saying? Even in 2 tight end sets, or whatever the case may be, O.J. Howard can be very valuable. So, you know, just a few guys I wanted to point out. I'm not going to touch on Scotty Miller or or Tyler Johnson, whatever the case may be. You know, these guys are sneaky guys those are the sneaky guys, you know what I'm saying? The Bernards, the Scotty Millers, the Tyler Johnsons. If you want to take a stab at them getting a touchdown, whatever the case may be, it is what it is. In fantasy, I probably won't be going there. In fantasy, I probably wouldn't mind taking a stab at Scotty Miller, but because I know, especially in the Super Bowl, he holds a special place in Tom Brady's heart for that bomb. But anyway, let's get back to the topic right at hand. Now, on the Dallas side of things, okay, Dak Prescott, he can't go out, he can't be out there all timid. We don't know. He said he's ready. I believe he's ready. These are NFL players. They got to be ready. All right. So he with that front four, if that offensive line can hold up for Dak Prescott, I think Tampa Bay could be exploited to a certain extent in the secondary, which will give him a pretty decent game. But like I said, I'd be lying if I told you I knew how this game was going to be. But I do know this game does have shootout potential. It's just, are they going to bring it or not? Now, Ezekiel Elliott, on the running back side of things here, you got Ezekiel Elliott and you have Pollard, okay? Pollard would be your vulture, all right? He's your third down back. But, Tony Pollard, he was getting his fair attempts, you know what I'm saying? So he would probably have double-digit attempts a game, whether between his rushing yards and receiving yards or close to it. I mean, rushing attempts and receptions, targets or whatever the case may be, or close to it, each game, and that puts him in play for fantasy, and it puts him in play for try to at least sneak in a touchdown or some reception props. All right, but and especially in negative game scripts as for where Dallas, if you think they have to play from behind. But Zeke, last year, he was having his fair share of targets as well. Now, the first 4 games, we're not going to count that 5th game when Dak got hurt. The first 4 games, he was getting targeted, fairly a decent amount, okay? He had 4 targets game week 1, 7 targets week 2, 11 targets week 3, 8 targets week 4. All of those games were with a healthy Dak. We're not going to count week 5. All right. Those games. Look at the score of those games. Week 1, okay, it was 17-20, but week 2 against Atlanta, it was 40-39. Week 3 against Seattle, it was 31-38. Week 4 against Cleveland, it was 38-49. Clearly, it's clearly on the books. It can be dangerous. Okay, betting that over and under can be dangerous, and if you're coming in with the same, if you're walking in with the same game plan or whatever you were working with last year, then you know what I'm saying, you'd probably figure this game would be a shootout. On the right, as for the wide receivers on Dallas, okay, you got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. Those are usual suspects right there in the wide receiver spot. The target distribution was pretty. I'm looking at these weeks where Dak was in. Okay, week 1, 14 targets for Amari Cooper, 9 targets week 2, week 3, 12, week 4, 16 targets. Okay, he's clearly really, really comfortable with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is a receiver that can get some pretty good separation. Only thing, the TDs. He had 5 TDs last year. All right, one of those coming with Dak. So he mustered up four more touchdowns down the road when it came to, like guys like who they have, Dalton and DiNucci, and at quarterback. So it's just crazy. CeeDee Lamb, all right, CeeDee Lamb, target distribution last year with Dak. 6 targets, 9 targets, 7 targets, 11 targets. Okay. Here's a receiver that they want to be great. All right. He also had 5 touchdowns last year. All right. So CeeDee Lamb can play in the end. He'll play most of his snaps coming out the slot. He'll jump on the outside as well. Then they have Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup was on the outside a lot. Okay. His target distribution, he had 5 touchdowns as well. His target distribution was 5, 9, 5, and 4 with Dak under the center last year. Then his target distribution, kind of went up a little bit more last year. A few games after Dak was gone, then he started seeing a 12, a 7, an 8, 11, an 8, whatever the case may be. But, they have 3 viable wide receivers that can get the job done. Now, tight end position, all right? This is where it's going to get sketchy at, for the simple fact that you have Dalton Schultz, all right? Dalton Schultz Blake Jarwin. Blake Jarwin only played 1 game last year. He's back. He's fully healthy. He's a viable option, all right? But Dalton Schultz, he really showed up last year, and shout out to him. He was healthy every game, and the target distribution was there for him as well. Week 1, he had 4 targets. Then he come back with 10, 6, 8. You know what I'm saying? That got hurt week 5. He had 3. Then he had a steady target distribution throughout the season. He had 4 touchdowns. Okay, so he's clearly involved. All right, he was clearly involved. So here's a guy that you can really, really look at. And Blake Jarwin, I just don't know what they're going to do with him. It's going to be like a 50, I don't know. It's 50-50 with me. He only played 1 game, and he's a viable tight end. So he's viable. He only played 1 game last year. So I just don't know how they're going to play it with these guys, man. So, judging by last season, Dalton Schultz, like I just showed you, he showed that he was a viable option, all right? So, and going over the books, like right now, that's 2 touchdowns. What I had pulled up, and that's why it was important for me. I think it was important for me to go over that because a lot of people are not gonna know. And like I say, from the usual suspects, as far as from Mike Evans all the way down here to Giovanni Bernard, any one of these guys can get a touchdown, man. Y'all already know this shit. Man. So, early in the week, my favorite 2 touchdown candidates was these top 2 right here, Mike Evans and Ezekiel Elliott. All right, those were my favorite 2 candidates to get a touchdown. Because, like I said, sometimes, the writings is on the wall sometimes, man. All these guys have 5 touchdowns last year for Dallas. Of course, it would have probably been different had Dak probably didn't get hurt. Probably so. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give these guys credit, whatever the case may be. But man, I just don't know, man. But all I have to do is all I can say right now is good luck and be safe out there in those streets. Tomorrow I'm going to bring some bets. I just wanted to point out, because I didn't want to make this video too long. I just want to point out some of my thoughts on these games. All right, I just want to give some of my thoughts to give everybody a refresher. You know what I'm saying, of how things happen, because there wasn't any significant changes that stood out to me between both of these teams in the offseason besides rookies. So peace out, man. Stay tuned tomorrow for my bets, man. All right, peace.